Welcome, Millyz, to Black TV, all the way from Massachusetts.
Thank you.
How are you feeling?
Honestly, I feel excellent. I feel excellent today. Like, I was riding and I'm thinking like, I'm at a point now where I got motion with this rap shit. Money's coming in. We in LA, we in a beautiful mansion. I'm flying people out from my neighborhood. We recording. I got press on my line. I got the industry on my line. I feel good. I feel excellent. And I feel like I gotta say that because, so many times people ask you like, how you doing? And like, I naturally say like, yeah, I'm good, but I'm not really good. But so when you are actually good, you gotta fucking emphasize that. So yeah.
And I feel like it just gives other people that energy so they feel good. Like,
Yeah,
I respect that answer.
Yeah.
I love that. Man, well, we got to start from the beginning. Born in Boston, raised in Cambridge. Side note, Vlad actually lived in Springfield, Massachusetts for a few years when he first moved to the
U.S. That's the trenches. Springfield is the trenches. Hell yeah. That's as many guys, it's damn near as many guys in prison from Springfield in Mass as Boston. Like, Springfield is bad. Yeah, you get your head knocked off out there.
That's wild.
Yeah, I got some homies in Springfield for sure.
Damn, so what was Cambridge like?
Cambridge was incredible. I felt like growing up, Cambridge was the most unique place in the world because it's really a melting pot. Like, you could still go there. Now it's really gentrified, but you could still go there and see murals on like the Middle East and like landmarks out there where the Middle East is like a bar and restaurant, but you'll see like murals that's actually the Central Square community and all the people who live there. So I grew up with Indians, Asians, Black people, white people, Spanish, really a melting pot. Like Cambridge, Rindge, and Latin, the public school, that's the most languages spoke in the whole world out of any high school. So that's what I grew up in. I always knew that.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so it's a super melting pot. Obviously you have like Harvard and you have MIT, and that makes up for about 50% of the city. Then 20% of the city is like rich people, and then 30% of the city is blue collar, people living below the poverty line, all type of shit like that. It's 14 housing projects. It's a lot to it that people don't know, that they would just think, Harvard, they would never think that, it's 14 housing projects or shit of that nature. Like, we produce NBA players. We produce damn near more NBA players than the whole state. We produced actors. Ben Affleck came from there.
I love it.
Shit like that. So yeah.
Yeah, I seen online you and Bia. You guys are tight. I love Bia. She's from Boston, right?
Yeah.
It's my girl.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be putting on for your city, especially in the hip hop space?
It feels incredible because someone has to do it. Like, if you in America, if you don't have hip hop representation, nobody knows where the fuck you're from is. You understand what I'm saying? Like, until a rapper breaks that shit down, nobody knows. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just shedding light on a reality because it's still people. There's still dickheads that'll be under these comments and go, oh, Cambridge, they don't know. But you, now you got to see the real side. You can say whatever you want, but you can also pull up, the Millyz, the Blanco series on YouTube and really look at the other side that you don't know about. So I love putting on for my city because I'm able to represent it in a way that it's never been represented. And I'm just representing the truth of it. Mm-hmm. My truth.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Man, I want to start, obviously I know your parents got divorced when you were 5. I saw you say in an interview your father's house was like a hub for artists.
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
from the Bay, so when you said Guapale, I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I live with Wobbly.
How was that?
That was incredible. I was young, but like she would it was ill to go to school, and I'm going to school and she's the first person I see, make me breakfast sometimes and shit like that. Like, yeah, it was
That's
fire.
crazy.
And at the time I didn't know how serious her music career was, but she would tell me shit like, I just opened for Busta Rhymes. And I'm young and I'm like, all right, cool, but I just knew her as like the girl who lived at my pop's house. But my pops had a lot of artists. Like, if you were an artist, you could come to my father's house and kind of, there was a couch for you or a bed. Like, I would wake up to a lot of different, like, strangers there when I would stay there and shit
What
like
was
that.
his role? What was he doing with the artists?
My pops is just an artistic dude. He does poetry and shit like that. And they would just, a lot of people just get super blasted in that house. But that's the house where I would experiment with all my music from. Because my pops didn't give a fuck to buy me Life After Death or Machiavelli and shit like that, where when I went back to my mom's neighborhood, I'd have to hide my albums and shit under the bed. Because it was like, because it was so explicit. My pops didn't give a fuck. So I was really able to like go through and, yeah.
For sure. Do you remember the moment you fell in love with hip hop? Was it one of those albums you just said?
Even before that, like I fell in love with hip hop just like songs off the radio, being 5 years old and memorizing whole songs. So, yeah, I've been in love with hip hop. That was really the first culture that I knew. Like that was the only thing that my friends were on when I'm at school. Like I discovered other types of music later on in life. More like when I had different jobs and they would play like Kiss 108 on the radio and shit like that at the jobs or shit like that.
I saw you say you're a Boyz II Men fan as well.
Yeah, fanatic. I'm an R&B guy and like a lot of my music I sing.
Right. What jobs did you have?
I had a lot of jobs. I was a dishwasher. Yeah, I was a dishwasher. I was a dishwasher twice. I was a dishwasher at Legal Seafood. It lasted like 2 weeks.
What happened?
I quit.
It wasn't for you?
Yeah, because I was doing other shit. So I was like, I only got jobs from my mother at the time. Like, and there were certain jobs I got that I risked my life to have that job just to show my mother, like, look, Ma, I got a job.
Yeah.
Like, because I got jobs in enemy territory, shit like that, like where I had to go to work and, be protected and people's running up on me at my job. But just to show my mom, like, look, I'm trying to do something with my life.
Damn.
Oh, God. So, yeah, I had a lot of jobs. I worked as a landscaper. And the quicker you mow the lawn as a landscaper, like you could get off. So I was just doing electric lawnmowers, but I really don't know what I'm doing. And all the people is working faster than me, so I'm trying to go at a faster rate, but the lawnmower keeps having grass stuck in it. So at one point, I tried to clean it out, but I forgot to turn the motor off, and I cut my thumb off. So my thumb here, I got a disformed thumb, so it just cut this whole shit off. And yeah, that was like my last job after that.
Oh
that's when I was just like, yeah, it's not for me. I got that job through like a program for like criminal rehabilitation in Cambridge. They got some shit called the Cambridge Works. Shout out to Mike Marullo. And they do it for like kids. Like if you got a bad record, you can still get a job. So they put me there and I was doing my thing. And then just one day I tried to clean out the lawnmower and just cut my thumb off and it was hanging all nasty.
No, was it bloody?
Oh yeah, no, it was bloody. Like I lost it. I had to pick this part up and like sew it. They had to sew it back on and shit. Like this is like a new nail.
Wow. Hey, it grew back though. It grew back, right?
Yes, it did.
We back. Man, I know you started selling weed at what, 12 years old?
Shit like that.
That's young.
Kinda. I don't know. Like, cause kids these days, they doing crazy shit. But yeah, that just happened because it was like my friend's older brother. He gave it to him, but my friend, he didn't know how to make it shake. And I realized early, like, oh, I got the gift of gab. I can make this shit shake. So, yeah.
Were you smoking it early too?
Yeah, hell yeah. I was a big pothead young. I don't really smoke as much anymore. Like, I do, but I don't smoke before I do interviews. I don't smoke before I do my shows because I was starting to go out to shows. I'm really a high-level rapper, so I'm going out to shows and I'm fucking up the words. And that's why I cut weed out before the shows and shit.
I respect that. I just had B-Real on my show and he was saying how sometimes he forgets his lyrics.
Yeah, I can't do that because I got people like, they're really paying money to come see me remember my shit for real.
I respect that. Man, I know you got into some trouble as a kid. Do you remember when that started happening? When you became...
Like... I don't know, probably it depends. There's levels of trouble, but I got in trouble being in school. I got kicked out like early.
You accidentally hit a teacher, right? Or something?
Yeah, but even before that, I was getting in trouble to the point where I've been labeled like I got a behavior disorder.
Oh, okay.
So I'm in special education from the time I'm in 6th grade. So everybody I grew up with I never grew up around normal kids in my life. In my life, I've never grown up around normal kids. I've always grown up around psychopaths. which in turn made me one. So yeah, I was always in like I was always in like a classroom like maybe the size of this with 6 other kids, but those were all the behavior disorder kids.
Yeah.
So they walk you out of the classroom with 32 kids and they put you in that room. And from there, I'm like, all right, I'm not normal. And I think that fucked me up a little bit more. So I'm dealing with these kids. And then when I go back home, I'm dealing with, nutcases in my neighborhood. And that's all I've known since 6th grade. I just started getting around regular people, but I fuck with nutcases, and this is big sped. Like this is so this was like derogatory at the time, like the word sped.
Oh, okay.
People will call you that. Oh, you in them sped classes? But I took it and I put diamonds on it, and I turned it up.
That's beautiful.
So I've also like went to speak at like South Boston High and shit, and talked to like the special education kids, and just told them like, yo, you could be anything just because you're here, because they telling you got a behavior disorder. You could be anything in life. And it's so crazy because I told him once, like, yo, raise your hand if you feel like if you can't be anything in life because you're in this class, and the whole class raised their hand. So that's how I felt. So I want to come back and show, no, you could do it. Right. I made $1 million off of rap.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? You could really do it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so inspirational.
Oh, God.
And I know, you had ADHD.
Yeah, so I say all of that to say that's when I started getting in trouble. But I almost felt because they put me in a more troubled environment that I got in more trouble, and it snowballed. So, yeah. But yeah, by like 14 or freshman year, whatever is 13, 14, whatever that is, I went to the public school. I had like a good 2-3 month run. It was a lot of girls in there. I was a lit freshman too. I was super lit. I was very popular, and I got kicked out quick. They kicked me out quick. They said I hit a teacher, and then so I had a year of just going to meet up with the tutor every day. Not every day, every Wednesday. I'd meet up with a tutor. So I had like to meet a tutor for like 4 hours, and that was my schooling. So other than that, I'm running around really getting in trouble in the neighborhood, because you see shit different when you're 14 and you're moving around and everyone else is in school, but you realize, oh no, it's a whole alternate reality over here.
Right.
Like there's a whole other world going on with kids that's not going to school, and a lot of shit's going on. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Man, well, I get, you said on No Jumper you started selling cocaine at 14, selling crack at 14?
Yeah, that sounds so technical when you say it like that.
I mean, how,
I grew up at the tail end of the crack era, so it was like in my neighborhood, it's zombies marching. Like that's what it always was. And that was just something that fell in my lap. Like that's what kids were doing around my way. You play basketball or you sell crack because it's the biggest thing going. And so it's so easy for somebody to give you an 8-ball. And like how my shit was handed to me on a silver platter, essentially, because I had a guy who was popular in the neighborhood and he was co-signing me. He was telling people, don't touch this white kid, because you was not allowed to sell crack as a white person, as a white kid in my neighborhood, So at that age, they give it to me. It's all bagged up. They gave me the rules. You could put the jums in your gums. You always hold a beverage. So if the police come, you swallow the rock, shit like that. They gave me the play. And I said, well, who am I going to sell it to? And they said, you're going to know. And within the first day of me walking out, like on that quest to do that, all of the people that before I just thought were zombies, like you start giving them a head nod, and then you realize, oh, okay, this is an easy way to get money. And so, that shit was like the infatuation of my neighborhood, selling crack.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Were you making
like
dope?
My neighbors were crackheads.
Right.
But sure. It was like some functional, some not functional, but a lot functional.
Were you making money though, at least?
Yeah, I mean, not to, like, I wouldn't say now, like now I would say to risk your life to like the things that we normalized is crazy, like to risk your life to get $50. But you could do 5 years for that, for $50. Shit like that. So, like, I wouldn't say I was getting money. It felt like it was. I just wanted, like, good sneakers. Shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to impress bitches, be able to, buy my little steak and cheese with a slice of pizza and a ginger ale and throw a little outfit together, get a bottle of Hennessy. A little half pint, maybe a pint of Hennessy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was very, I didn't have high aspirations at that time.
Were you always that guy, though? People loved you?
Yeah, for sure. I had a gift of gab because even when I like graduated to hustling like at an older age, because that's 15. When I graduated to hustling around like 17, 18, now I'm going to straight suburban towns and crushing them because I'm white and I'm blending in.
Damn.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I for sure had the gift of gab.
What was the worst situation you got into during that time?
Well, which time period?
Just when you were wilding.
I wilded out for a long time. So I would say at some point, you know, my friends my friends that I was with every day, my brothers, they got arrested for a murder. And they ended up getting natural life, like, you know, and it's like sitting in the courtroom and seeing a judge tell the people you're with every day, like your brothers, your real relatives, telling them like, you know, natural life. 18, 19, that's crazy. Like not even a number attached to it. So like that was one of the worst things, but a lot of shit. Like, you know, my mother's house got like, you know, I got shot at in front of my mother's house. My friend got shot, like homicide coming to my door, just a lot of shit. If I had to like put it all, encapsulate it all into one thing, what was the worst thing that happened? It was making my mother go through traumatic shit. Yeah, because I love my mother and I never wanted that to happen. It was just like the outside had a fucking hold on me. I couldn't shake it. It was just like, cause my mother raised me like anti-violence, all of that. She didn't even understand having to fight. But the outside, once I realized, I think I grew up with such like a warm heart, and then my shit just got colder the more I realized like, oh no, this shit's not fair. People punching me in the face when I'm going to the store.
Wow.
When I'm 13, 14 for no reason. And then I'm like, oh, I gotta fight. And so by the time I'm 18, that fucks me up because every time I walk out the crib, I'm like, I gotta be in super fight or flight mode. And my shit was fight because you can't go back if it's flight. And I wanted to be one of those guys. I wanted to be able to be comfortable in my neighborhood. I wanted to be able to have the girls to, you know, pull up in a nice car. I just wanted for people to be able to leave me alone. So I feel like that environment corrupted me. The outside corrupted me because my mother raised me, you know, perfectly. She raised me to not be like that at all.
You ever have anger management issues? You feel like you had?
Yeah, like they put me, like I had, part of me being in school was therapy.
Okay.
So I had to do therapy.
Damn.
And I liked the original therapist. I went to a school in Charlestown. Like you ever saw the movie The Town?
I think so.
When they got the nun masks?
Yeah. Oh, that's terrifying.
You saw the movie The Town. It's a fact. So it's like, that's where I was going to school. And I was going to school with really, 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 really bad kids. A lot of the kids that I was in school with were on like, you know, the bracelet, and they were in jail technically, like in DYS, but they was able to, I don't know how that worked. But yeah, I went there, and they had to like coach me through like anger management and do therapy, and I hated therapy. I liked one of the therapists. I didn't like the second one.